Oh my god, this is crazy!
Middleofnowheregaming.com. Everybody go to that website. Say we sent you.
Yeah, get that traffic
I bet they're really good at Minecraft. They're probably the antithesis of us.
This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Welcome into episode 70 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Osborne, and today I'm joined by an entirely new cast of MONG something, MONG everything, MONG writers. Gone are the days of Lou and Miles. We're kicking them off the team. No, that's actually not true. They're both just really busy today. And so instead of being joined by them, I am joined by the one and only Strong Finch, Sean.
What's up, everybody?
And two people who I do not have nicknames for yet. One in Matt Batson.
Hey, guys.
And Brian, what's your last name? How do you pronounce that?
You pronounce it Hurst.
Hurst. Okay, and then Brian Hurst.
Oh, hey, everyone. By the way, Matt and I will be referred to as the dynamic duo since we can go everywhere together now.
Ah.
Yeah.
Holding hands?
Well,
preferably.
We'll never do a podcast without each other.
Skipping through the meadow.
Okay, so one reason why I wanted to bring on Matt and Brian this week was so that they could explain the new podcast coming, the one that I teased a little bit last week that didn't end up coming out last week because I didn't know when it was planned to come out or not. But so I'm going to hand it off to Brian and explain this new awesome podcast.
Yeah, so we're starting this week, just officially, so we should be out Friday. It's called More Than the Score. It's a review-based podcast, so we'll bring on all of our favorite MONG reviewers the week that they review big games, and they'll come on and talk to me and Matt for 10 or 15 minutes, and so we'll just basically talk about all these games. But Matt, if you want to give a little preview for this first episode.
Yeah, so this Friday we're going to have Courtney on for Dying Light, and then we'll have the reviews for Citizens of Earth, playing a little bit of catch-up there, and Grim Fandango.
Which are Harry and Jake, respectively, for those two. And so this is going to be a weekly podcast, right?
Yes, it will.
And is
Hopefully,
it gonna
that's the plan.
Is it going to have all of the reviews, or just those that we can get on, or what?
Mainly, we're going to try and get the high-profile releases. Okay. But we'll take what we can get most weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, some of the weeks we'll probably only have one or two reviews, and they may not be the biggest games. But so are you going to still come out with an episode those weeks?
Yeah, we're still working out some of the finer details. I don't think we've talked about weeks that don't have reviews, but I'm sure we could find something to fill that time, even if that means digging back into games that we skipped over because we just had too many games one week.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so and the first episode, is there like a timeline on Friday when you're expecting to get it out, or is it just sometime Friday afternoon or morning or anything like that?
7:54 p.m. Friday.
Sounds good.
Friday evening.
You can pre-order now.
Pre-order.
Yeah, we take any form of payment, by the way.
All right. And if
is there a pre-order bonus? What do I guess?
Ooh.
Well, it depends on where you're pre-ordering from. Toys R Us, they have the big exclusive over there. If you pre-order, you get a bag of Skittles.
If you pre-order from Best Buy, you get a MONG Amiibo. It's MONG Man, and you play as him in Super Smash Brothers. So I'm just saying, we signed a big deal with Nintendo.
I can totally picture a MONG Man Amiibo.
I know, right? That'd be awesome.
I could picture him in Smash Brothers too.
Yeah, freaking, he'd be better than Pac-Man. Just a big old Mong head. I don't know. Would we go with the muscular Mong Man that Miles drew, or we would just go with a circular head with legs and arms?
I like the circular head.
Yeah, it's definitely got to be the floating head.
Oh. Okay, so last week, or the last 2 weeks, we've been running the giveaway, the first big giveaway of 2015. We ended up having, I believe, 1,047 entries for, or something like that. And we have finally finished the giveaway, and we have emailed the winner, and they know they've won, and they've picked their game. So if you haven't gotten an email yet, obviously you didn't win. But the winner was actually Rob Hester. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And he ended up deciding that he wanted the Order 1886 on PlayStation 4. So we will be shipping him a copy of that because he wanted a physical copy, not a digital download, in the next week or whatever, since it releases next Friday. But so congratulations, Rob, for winning, and thank you to the 1,000 people who entered. But however, no thank you to those of you who lied when you entered.
Ooh.
There were 6 winners who came before Rob, and all 6 of them lied about how they entered. We had a few people who lied about following us on Twitter. We had a few people who lied about subscribing to us on YouTube. And I believe we had 2 people who lied about giving us no. Here, one of them was a review on iTunes, and one of them was a lie about sending us a bumper for the News from Nowhere. So if you're going to enter in any of our giveaways in the future and you're a listener, please do what you say. Please do what you said you did to enter it, because I do check every single entry that comes up as a winner. So we have a randomizer, and whoever comes up, I immediately go and check and make sure they did what they said they did. And if they didn't, they're disqualified, and I move on to the next one. But that takes away nothing from Rob winning. Rob is awesome. He did what he said he did, and he is our winner.
You know what they say about Rob Hester? There ain't none bester. I'm sorry,
man.
I'll leave.
And people criticize my wordplay.
Yeah. However, beside all of that, whatever, doesn't matter. We did get 3 codes just now from our faithful listener, Toonday. We have 3 Steam codes for Star Wars game. If anybody wants them, first come, first serve. Write this down, go type it in, and claim these games. Let us know if you do actually claim them, so that we could, tweet out, congratulations on getting it or something, so everybody knows which games are claimed. But anyways, the first code is for KOTOR 2, and the code is WWH0H2LK5BHJ2GH. And what do you think? Should I read off the other 2 codes at different times?
Yeah, let them
Make sure they actually
get in
listen
further.
to the podcast.
Yeah, okay. Well, then we'll read off the code for Starfighter and Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 a little bit later at random times. Just keep that in mind if you want any of those games. So before we get on to the news from nowhere, anything exciting other than the new podcast starting up this week happening? Anybody do anything cool this past weekend? Play any cool games?
Nothing. I just played and beat Apotheon.
Is that how you pronounce it? Apotheon or Apotheon?
I don't know. That's the way it looks like it's to be pronounced. So I'm just like, it's Apotheon. Nobody has corrected me so far, so.
Have you said it out loud before until just now?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Just making sure, because sometimes there's those words that I never say out loud, and then I get to a time where I have to, and I'm like, fuck. I've read this in my head so many times, but how do you really say it?
That's exactly what happened with me when I was reading the Harry Potter books as a kid.
Oh, God.
Hermione's name.
Yeah.
Oh, man. My mind was blown the first time I heard that.
Dude, it was Hermione, was what I said. I was like an 8-year-old, and so that's what I pronounced it as. And when that first movie came out, just like you said, my mind was blown. I was like, what? No. Ah, balls.
You know what I did this weekend, Courtney?
What'd you do?
I sat around and waited for you to play co-op all weekend. All weekend.
Yep. Well, I was playing Freedom Wars. And which good news, I beat Freedom Wars, so there's no more of that for me to do, really. I mean, there's some side stuff that I'm going to go back and do. But yeah, my plan was to platinum Dying Light this weekend, and so what was it, Friday, I think, when I got online and I was looking up how to get some of the trophies, and I stumbled across the official Techland forums where everyone was talking about how, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 of the trophies are glitched. And there's one of them that it's glitched for 100% of the people. Nobody can get the trophy. And it was just, it scared me away from playing Dying Light all weekend long because I didn't want to play it and to do something like complete what I was supposed to do for some trophies and not get them and then be screwed out of it and have to do a whole nother playthrough to get it. And so like I just made this decision. I was like, I am going to wait for now. And yeah, so sorry about that.
So obviously the moral of that story is the only thing scarier than zombies are glitched trophies.
Yes. Freaking glitch trophies, man.
The glitch trophy apocalypse.
Dude, I am so close to getting that platinum too. Like, I could totally do it. There was, find all the collectibles and do all the side quests. I had already finished all the side quests when I found this website, and I was just like, no! Why is that trophy glitched?
Have they talked about it? Have they said anything about a patch?
Nope. The only thing they have said, the community manager acknowledged that thread and said that he will pass on the information to the dev team, and that's the last thing we've heard about it. So, I mean, they patched something, which may have just been the duplicating cheat, because there's a duplicating cheat in the game. And I don't know if you could still do it on the PS4 version. I know you can't on PC anymore. And I know that they were adding modding to the game, after they accidentally patched it out or something. And I don't know. I have no idea what's going on anymore, but I really want to get that platinum. So Techland, get on your shit and fix it so I can get that platinum, because that's all that matters. All that matters.
Could say please.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I gave him a good review. I mean, come on. I wasn't paid.
And if you want to hear more about that good review, you can check out the podcast More Than the Score this Friday.
At 7:54 p.m.
Okay. Anything else before we move on to the news from nowhere? Nothing.
That's
okay.
a no.
I will take that as a no. So it's time for the news from nowhere. And if I remember to do so, I will insert our one and only news from nowhere bumper from the giveaway in this week's episode, and this week's episode alone, because it's funny, but it's not the kind of bumper we're looking for. It's definitely not going to be in every episode, but I do want to include it just so everybody can hear it, because it made me crack up when I heard it the first time. So I will insert it.
We're looking for. This one we need now.
Yes, exactly. I will insert it here.
It's the news from nowhere! Oh my god!
Hopefully. Everybody's going to be listening to this eventually, and they're going to be like, oh, he totally forgot. Oh, balls. Okay, so number one on the news from nowhere. Bethesda is set to hold their first ever E3 press conference this year. Holy balls. Bethesda made the announcement on their website, but unsurprisingly failed to mention what they will include in their E3 show, which is scheduled for June 14th. A speculation of what Bethesda will be announcing is rife within the game community, with most people assuming that it'll be Fallout 4. However, Bethesda does have Elder Scrolls Online, which will be released just a few days before their E3 conference, as well as the new Doom game, which we were told about last year and told that we would not get any new information until this year. So it's likely that both of these games will get some stage time this year. And for those who cannot attend the conference, Bethesda will stream it on their official Twitch channel, so just look for that.
Fallout 4. Confirmed.
Fallout 4. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
What really got me excited was the fact that in 2014, everybody had predicted Fallout 4 was going to be coming, and this year only Lou had predicted Fallout 4.
I do not have that kind of commitment to predict the same thing every year and hopefully get it right eventually. I can't. So, I don't know.
It's not a prediction anymore. It's just your hopes.
Yeah, it's just my hopes. Because if I predict it and I'm wrong year after year, I'm going to be known as that loser who predicts the same things every year. Lou. So, Matt, Brian, how do you guys feel? Are you guys excited?
I'm really excited.
Yeah?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, but I was just going to say, I mean, it's really cool, too, because Bethesda, they're obviously known for Fallout and Elder Scrolls, but just this past year they had some great games that they published too, with The Evil Within and Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah.
So we can hear not just from their development teams, but also what they're going to be publishing.
That's true. Yeah, if they're going to hold an entire conference, you would expect it not to just be for 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, but all of their games that they're going to be publishing as well, just like Ubisoft does every year and EA and stuff like that. Like they talk about all of their games.
It would be awesome though if just the first half of the show is a new Elder Scrolls and the last half is Fallout 4.
Oh god.
That would just blow everyone's mind.
Yeah,
I got another question. What if they made an original IP and released it? Like an original one that's like Fallout 4, that's like Elder Scrolls Online, that's an RPG, but they just made it a new IP.
I mean, I'm down for that. I love Bethesda. I love everything
Yeah.
they do, and I love their RPGs. So if they could come up with a awesome original idea and push that forward and release that, I totally behind that. Totally backing that one.
I think that would be great, except I don't think I'd be as excited about that as I would for either Fallout or Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, me either.
Those
That's why you have the press conference.
Yeah.
You get that hype up.
Those are established franchises that we've grown up with and played repeatedly or hundreds of hours with, and they hold special places in our hearts. While Bethesda RPG 101, we don't know what this is going to be or if it would be any good or whatever. So like, I don't know. We could be excited for what it could be, but we know what Fallout's going to be. We know what Elder Scrolls is going to be, and those are awesome games every single time. I'm stoked. Like I'm really surprised. What is it? It's set the day before E3 starts. It's set on a Sunday, I believe. The 14th is. Is that correct? Yep, on a Sunday. So it's set the day before E3 actually gets up and going. I'm assuming every time that's happened in the past when somebody has had a schedule ahead of time, it's because they don't want their information to be buried in all of the other news that just comes out like nonstop every 10 minutes during the week. And they want to get theirs out, and they don't want it to be leaked ahead of time, stuff like that. And so you would imagine that this is probably a big name game, which likely points to Doom or Fallout, in my opinion.
So would they call it a pre-3 conference?
Huh? See what you did there. Okay, let's move on.
All right. Do you guys remember Shadow Realms?
Are you talking about that one game with all those crazy trailers, the commercials with the kids who were like losing their minds with powers?
Yeah. Well, that's canceled.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, Shadow Realms was the latest announced BioWare game, cryptically teased before being revealed at Gamescom 2014 near the middle of last year. Unfortunately, the title, which was a foray into the trending 4v1 gameplay arena, has been officially canceled. The general manager, Jeff Hickman, released a long-winded statement explaining the cancellation. Well, the team did amazing work on the game concept, and we got lots of great feedback from our fans at events and through other game testing. Right now, there are other projects for the team to work on within the BioWare studios for the next year and beyond. We've got incredibly...
Wrong show.
Such a sad day today.
Let's not bring that up.
Move
That's
on.
so sad.
We've got an incredibly talented team here at the Austin studio, and they are excited and already deep on the new projects within the BioWare family. Ones that will make some great BioWare games even better. These will include additional ongoing enhancements to the award-winning Dragon Age Inquisition, as well as the next game in the Mass Effect series and another new IP. But the biggest focus for our team in BioWare Austin will be on the Star Wars The Old Republic. As every Star Wars fan knows, this is a massive year in the Star Wars universe. We have some great plans for expanding this epic game this year, and look forward to sharing the news about those plans with our players in the coming weeks. For all the people that registered for the Shadow Realms closed alpha, we're working on a way to say thank you for signing up. For those players that gave us feedback at Gamescom and PAX, and for those that shared our thoughts and impressions in the past months, we thank you for being part of the conversation.
Okay, so 2 things. Whenever you read as every Star Wars fan knows, this is a massive year in the Star Wars universe, I got goosebumps everywhere. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And secondly, this news is so strange when, 2 or 3 weeks ago we heard that there was a possibility Shadow Realms was coming to consoles.
Yeah. And also it's weird because one game has been released today.
Oh, the 4v1 part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Evolve coming out at 4v1 and Dying Light having a 4v1 mode and Shadow Realms being 4v1, you would have expected that maybe they would have been really pushing this forward in hopes that this was a future gameplay, that everyone enjoys or whatever. But then again, BioWare is one of those big companies who doesn't want to release a bad game. Just like, what is it? I'm forgetting who develops World of Warcraft. Blizzard has canceled several big games that had a lot of hype behind them, and it just wasn't up to their standard, and so they just canceled them. And this kind of feels like that's what they're doing.
Unlike the other half of Activision Blizzard.
Shots fired.
I had to do that. But I don't know, it might be the fact that Evolve got a little bit of hate because of their DLC practices early on. And they might have saw that, the environment, maybe it wasn't ready for a good 4v1 gameplay, 4v1 game, so they might have just shelved the idea. Because I really want to see that idea just come to fruition. So I hope that they didn't just say, you know what, let's just chop it where it is right now and just eviscerate everything. I hope that they just shelve it and they say, you know what, we can come back to this idea whenever we have something new that we can add on to it and hopefully make it better.
Yeah.
I was thinking, do you think that they looked at numbers for Dying Light to see how many people are doing this, like be the hunter, be the zombie mode, whatever, and they just saw really low numbers there, and that affected their decision not to do it like a full game?
It could 4v1? It could be. I don't know. It's so weird because I remember when this game was being teased originally, and our Mong chats were all full of, oh, another trailer came out. Did you guys see it? The trailer came out, and everyone was really excited about what it was going to be. And then when it was officially revealed, everyone on the team lost interest. Yeah. Every single one of us was like, oh, well, never mind. And we all watched the gameplay videos, and nobody was impressed. And it's just, I'm really thinking that BioWare was just like, you know what, this is not what we wanted. It's not up to par. It's not, it's not going to compete with games like Evolve, because its gameplay compared to Evolve looked very, very primitive. It just didn't look very advanced. It didn't look very fun compared to games like Evolve.
Very evolved.
Primitive, evolved. I see what you did there. But I don't know. It could be the numbers game. It could be quality. It wasn't up to standard. This is weird.
I would like to add. Earlier, you had mentioned how it was coming to consoles. Well, because I think I wrote that story. If not, I researched that story, and
it was the other Matt who wrote it.
Oh, okay. I researched it nonetheless, but. The reason for it was they were completely overhauling the game because the PC version didn't have enough Origin integration in it, and that was going to affect their budget.
Oh.
So yeah, they just completely overhauled it and was rebooting the project, and so now I'm not completely surprised that it's getting canceled.
Especially, if they just rebooted it and they were in that process, probably a pre-planning stage almost again, they could have just come to the conclusion that it wasn't worth going through the process again to get as far as they
resources.
Were. Yep. And the bringing to consoles thing also could have been a last-ditch effort. It could have been one of maybe the development team or the QA testers or anything like that. Maybe they were so unimpressed and they were like, we need to bring this to more people or it's not going to be worth it. So bringing it to consoles and PC could have helped with that as a possibility. And I don't know, maybe it just didn't generate any excitement. Who knows? Were any of you guys excited for it?
I'm not a big multiplayer fan, so I mean, it might have been something because it's BioWare. The name alone probably would have gotten me to get into this. But after Dragon Age's multiplayer decisions, I don't know.
Brian, did you say?
Yeah, I definitely wasn't. It was a game that I was aware of. And like Sean said, because it's a BioWare game, I mean, you pay attention to that stuff. But I don't know if I'm just not a 4-on-1 type player, or it's the multiplayer aspect, or what. Or maybe it just didn't look good. Like you talked about the gameplay. I mean, it looked okay. It was going to be an okay game, I'm sure, but it wasn't going to be worth the purchase.
It's kind of how I was feeling. Matt,
yeah, like you said earlier, I was excited when they were showing all the teasers and trailers for it, and then I was just kind of meh when it came out. I think mostly the idea of the 4v1, I'm still really skeptical of that, and so I'm waiting for the reviews on Evolve.
The weirdest part about all of this was that BioWare really nailed it, or at least the publisher really nailed it with their teaser program. Those commercials, those teasers, those were awesome. Can you imagine more games doing that? Not telling us what the game is, but just slowly teasing it with weird cryptic trailers. That was so cool, and it got everybody interested. So, I think that more companies need to do that. More publishers.
That's where the best, teaser of all was PT. That's the best way to announce a game, I swear.
That was really good too. Moving on.
Oh, okay. So, Japanese magazine Famitsu, they spilled some beans on Persona 5, my most anticipated game of the year.
Ooh.
Yes. And so just as in Persona 3 and 4, the protagonist is a second-year high school student who transfers to a new school at the beginning of the school year. The protagonist's home is a coffee shop, not sure where he'll sleep, owned by friends of his parents. This is likely the place where we saw the main characters in the heist trailer. And the game begins in Shibuya, as seen in the trailer, but eventually it branches off into parts of Tokyo. And then the prison in the trailer is a prison of mind for the protagonist. It's vaguely implied that this represents some sort of looming problem that the protagonist can confront. Unlike most Persona dungeons, the dungeon seen in the trailer was not procedurally generated. This will be one of the several areas designed to highlight the protagonist's skills as a phantom thief. However, this does not necessarily mean the game will not contain any procedurally generated elements. And another big part, social links will return. There was some skepticism about that, though not necessarily in the same form as previous games. The name of the protagonist's first persona is Arsene? I don't know. Sure.
That
Likely
sounds great.
Named after the fictional phantom thief Arsene Lupin.
Lupin. There you go.
Lupin. The persona has a cape which appears to function as a pair of wings, evoking the image of a thief who can reach places others cannot. The protagonist may seem like the quiet type, but this is stated to be some kind of an act. Given that he's apparently a successful phantom thief, this probably shouldn't be surprising. The protagonist meets Anne and Ryuji, seen in the trailer at the beginning of the game, and three have some kind of personal problems. All three have some kind of personal problems. It's hinted that all three characters have lost their homes, which is, I guess, why they're living in a coffee shop.
Aww.
And Morgana, the transforming cat-like character in the trailer, is also met near the beginning of the game and is very important to the story as such in combat. So I'm guessing she'll be like Teddy for this game. And battles will be turn-based with several tweaks meant to spice up gameplay. Each character can wield a gun in addition to their melee weapon. And these apparently aren't real guns, but are used in combat. An anime studio production, IG, will be responsible for the cutscenes. This is the studio responsible for animated adaptations of Ghost in the Shell, among other popular anime.
Yeah, they're really good company.
Yeah, they are.
So I don't know about you guys, but the trailer, the cat stole the show for me.
Oh my god. That trailer was just action-packed, and it's one of those trailers that, to me at least, you had to watch about 3 or 4 times.
I watched it 7 times.
Everything. But you have to watch it multiple times in order to take everything in. You cannot take everything in a first glance.
And everything's happening so fast. Like, I needed to get a picture from it for our most anticipated list last year for one of our QTE episodes, and like I needed a solid picture from YouTube, and so I screen capped it, but it took forever to get the perfect one because things were just flying by happening, and you couldn't pause YouTube where it would have the giant play button in the middle of the screen, and so like I had to take it live, and I had to do it several times to be able to get a good one. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for this game. Super excited for Persona.
Yeah, I am too. I woke up the morning that this was announced and like immediately just half asleep. It shows up in my Twitter feed, and I just like completely woke up, freaked out, watched it 3 times, got excited to write the story, then saw it was already on our website, watched it 2 more times on our website, then went on with my day.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think I watched it like 4 or 5 times in a row. It's just so sleek and so stylish and so pretty, and that, you know, like Persona 4 Golden on Vita was one of my favorite Vita experiences, and so just the thought of playing Persona 5 on the PlayStation 4 just really gets me going.
Now, have any of you guys platinumed Persona 4 Golden?
Hell no.
No.
I unfortunately lost my copy of Persona 4 Golden one day, and I was just like, that really struck me because I was really, really excited for that. But no, 3 things. 1, long live the Vita. 2, I'm excited to at least have, you know, a JRPG on the PS4. Just something I can just sit down and just grind through. And that'll probably be my summer game. That'll probably be the game I sit down over the summer and just go on through it, see how far I can get.
Now you're talking like a summer from now, like 2 summers from now. A localization process is a bitch for some of these companies.
Yeah.
It's not likely we're going to see it this year.
Especially with all the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whenever summer it comes out.
Yeah.
And if not, I'll import it. Japanese can't be that hard.
Matt and I were talking before we started recording about my experience with Persona 4 Golden, and it was that I'd seen the anime, and so I knew the story, which ended up basically ruining the game for me because I knew it was going to happen. And when I play games, I typically play them for stories, and so I plan to go back and eventually play Persona 4 Golden, but I have yet to get past like the 10-hour mark. And Matt, what were you saying? How many hours did you say you put into it?
About 150.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. That game, so good.
The first week I had it, it was during, I got my Vita and Persona 4 Golden during Christmas break, back when it came out, and just completely neglected all of my family who was in town, and just sunk 60 hours in the first week.
Oh, God. See, that's how I am with like the Tales series. Anytime a new Tales game comes out, I am all in, and typically I'll have anywhere between 50 and 100 hours in the first week. So
I
totally.
remember when you reviewed what was the last Tales game?
Well, 2 came out last year, Tales of Hearts and then Tales of Exilia 2.
I remember you reviewing Tales of Exilia 2, and you would just keep on saying over and over how much you loved that game, and then it's just like a week. Or no, it was 2 weeks of nothing but that game.
I played so much. I love Tales. Okay, so I'm going to interrupt here, and the next code for Star Wars games. This is for Star Wars Starfighter on Steam, and the code is Y8VTB7DNQWM DV0W. All right, let's move on.
On a side note, Courtney, if you ever are looking for a second job, you should totally be a subway conductor here, because you have like the perfect pitch for when we pull up to stations and like transfers available to the A, C, B, D, E, 7, and S.
Yeah.
I just thought you should know.
That is my backup career, actually. I'm going to be going there when I don't get my number 1 job as a porn star.
Oh
wow, that's number 1.
Yeah, the whole Mong thing is actually a cover story. It's just so people don't suspect that I am actually Johnny Big Nuts.
I enjoy your work.
So let's move on. I'm not actually a porn star, guys. It doesn't happen.
Not yet. Not yet.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
All right. The next one we have is Dragon's Dogma Online is coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and PC later this year in Japan. The floodgates have opened for Dragon's Dogma Online, the recently announced upcoming online RPG from Capcom, and the information and screenshots are flowing out. Following the game's announcement, an official website went live containing several screenshots of the game in progress. These screenshots show off combat and some of the locales in the game. It was also revealed that the game will eventually be 3 times larger than the original Dragon's Dogma, which is nothing to scoff at. This will be made possible through expansions for the game. In an interview with Famitsu, director Kinoshita, producer, so many names, producer Mine Matsukawa, and executive producer Hiroku Kobayashi revealed several more facts about the game, including that the free-to-play model will not take away from the classic Dragon's Dogma experience, and that the story is completely separate from the original Dragon's Dogma or Dark Arisen. It was also revealed that the game has a story-driven campaign and can be played alone for those who are less social. Less social, that's a great way to describe that.
Yeah.
Other players in a 14 party will be replaced with AI pawns, a la the original Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma Online will be released in Japan later this year on PS4, PS3, and PC. It currently isn't confirmed for a Western release.
First of all, I just want to give you a nice round of applause for pronouncing those names.
That was a son of a bee, I will tell you.
Did anybody play the original Dragon's Dogma?
I
Wasn't
did.
it a Vita game?
No, it was on PS3 and Xbox. But I did, and I kind of had an abusive relationship with that game.
Oh, God.
Because I loved playing it, but it has so many flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them that really concerns me is, like, in the thing you said, it's 3 times larger than the map of the original one. And that one, like, the fast travel system in that was so, like, just broken and weird, where you had to, like, get items specifically to fast travel to even more specific locations, like where you left an item.
Yep.
And so there's just so much traversing in that game, and a lot of it you have to do at night, which, again, is just a bitch, because it's like Dying Light, where it just amps it up to 11 at night.
I started the game. I ended up renting it, I believe, because I wasn't sure about it, and I played probably 15 to 20 hours of it, which in that game is not very far.
No.
I will give you that. And it's funny because most of the time, if I'm not enjoying a game, I will give it maybe 3 hours at most, and then I will call it quits and I won't play it ever again. But for some reason, I gave this game 15 to 20 hours, and the entire time I kept saying, I really don't like this game. I really don't like this game. This game is not very good. Like, I just could not get myself into it, but I gave it every chance to get better and more fun. And it was just, like you said, there was just so many little things that were just annoying, like the fast travel system. And then the AI pawns saying the same thing over and over and not shutting up when we're out in the field. I was just like, shut up. I just need to mute my TV. Oh, it frustrated me. But it does feel like it's the type of world or type of game that could bode well as an MMORPG. If they handle it the right way, they could really fuck this up even worse, or it could end up being, a really good game, something like Final Fantasy XIV or Realm Reborn. If they take the time to redo stuff and make it better, make it more fun, this could be an awesome one. But the free-to-play part also scares me.
I mean, do you think this is a situation where it turns out like Elder Scrolls Online, where it's a decent reception but not great?
It could be.
It could. It depends on if the same studio is creating it. The main reason why the Elder Scrolls Online didn't translate well is because it wasn't handled by Bethesda itself. It was handled by ZeniMax Studios.
Right.
It's an MMO.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just playing Elder Scrolls by yourself in a single player designed world is one thing, and playing it as an MMO is another thing. Like, it doesn't matter who it's handled by. There are some games that are really well, or really they can be handled really well as an MMO, and some of them just can't. And I don't know, as much as growing up I said, oh, I want to play Elder Scrolls with all my friends, it would be so cool as an MMO. Like, whenever I started to see that it was actually coming true, I started to kind of go back on that opinion that, I really enjoy Elder Scrolls, but it's probably because I play it alone.
Yeah. It's like, don't bother me while I'm playing Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I always had this fear of like people coming in and like ruining my world. I didn't want to have combat with other human beings in Skyrim or Oblivion.
Or Minecraft.
Yeah, that'd be really weird.
That was my worst fear with Minecraft Online. Everybody who wanted to play with me, I'm like, I can't give you any permissions. Like, I can't let you do anything, or you're gonna destroy my castle. Like, I don't want that to happen.
My friends did a really nice thing in Minecraft where they each had their own section of the map, and it was on like their own countries.
Yeah. So, do you guys think this game will even make it west?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, Dragon's Dogma did okay in the West, so I wouldn't see why this wouldn't.
Yeah, and it's Capcom. That also plays into it, because Capcom typically brings over anything.
They don't care.
Whether or not we all enjoy it, or is a whole nother thing. But speaking of Capcom,
Huh? The first bit of news, we got some big news that came for Deep Down. The first bit of news pertains to just what we should expect to see from Deep Down whenever it hits PlayStation 4s near us. There is still no solid release date, but Yoshinori Ono, the producer, did mention that work on Dragon's Dogma Online is the top priority right now. They're working on Deep Down behind the scenes, so all they can ask for fans is more time. The second piece of news, revealed by Yasunori Sugura. I totally butchered that name.
Kazunori
Kazunori Sugura.
Go on.
Keep going.
News that Capcom is planning to support Deep Down for 15 years. Sugura admitted that they definitely don't expect for the graphics to stay up to snuff the whole time. Unfortunately, Sugura did not mention what exactly this 15 years of support will mean. The 15 years of support isn't even big news. However, we're not sure exactly what the big news is. Ono just mentioned that whatever the surprise is might be made known to the public this year.
So what's really strange about all of this is that Deep Down was originally going to be a launch game on PS4. And what are we now? A year and 4 months, 3 months away, or after post-launch now. And this game sounds like it may not even hit this year, may not hit even next year. It's just...
I mean,
yeah.
Whenever you said that it was a launch title, I keep getting flashbacks to Drive Club now.
Yeah.
How they got an extra year, and now, I mean, the PlayStation Plus free version hasn't even hit. So, I mean, it gives me a little... I don't know if Capcom is even going to release Deep Down, mostly because they said themselves that Dragon's Dogma Online is their top priority. They're just working on Deep Down behind the scenes. So it makes me wonder if, they're going to look back on it and they're going to say, might as well cancel it.
I'm way more excited about Deep Down than I am Dragon's Dogma Online. Like, Deep Down actually looks fun with the, Assassin's Creed kind of going back into time gameplay and Monster Hunter gameplay. Like, it looks really, really cool, and it's way prettier than Dragon's Dogma.
And it actually has a chance of reaching the West.
Matt and Brian?
Yeah, I think, the whole being a second priority is never a good thing. Especially, it's very strange to hear them say that it's not the top priority, but yet it's a game that they'll support for 15 years. Like, I highly doubt that anything is going to get support for 15 years other than, like, wow.
World of Warcraft? Yeah.
Yeah. And so something like that, I mean, that's a lofty statement. But if you're saying that and it's not your top priority at the moment, that's kind of hard to believe. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, it looks like a cool game, and I am more excited about it than Dragon's Dogma, but it doesn't look like something that's going to happen ever, if anytime soon.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. The 15-year support. Why say that and tell us that they're doing it behind the scenes, but also working on another multiplayer game, an online, like an MMO, which are typically supposed to be forever. You know, like when you make an MMO, you're not planning for it to be a 2-year game. You're planning for it to go on and on and on and on as long as there are players on it. And so it just seems really weird the way they're handling it.
Yeah, if Deep Down's, if they're going to support that for 15 years, then what's Dragon's Dogma getting?
Exactly. Why are they giving it priority if they're building up Deep Down and not really building up Dragon's Dogma in the same way? So weird. I don't get it. Moving on? Okay. I'll take the awkward pauses as a yes. You guys are as bad as Miles and Lewis at that.
It's the pregnant pause. We're all disciples of Beyond. We know how this works.
Yeah.
Okay, so a release date for Xenoblade Chronicles 3D has been revealed. Xenoblade Chronicles 3D will be released on April 10th and will include some features that were not previously mentioned. The game will incorporate Street Pass, which allows players to earn in-game tokens that can be spent to unlock music and new character models. In addition, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D will have Amiibo support, where the Shulk Amiibo will also earn tokens. Xenoblade Chronicles 3D is also still slated for release in Europe on April 2nd, 8 days ahead of it, as it is in North America. So are you guys going to be buying this?
Nope.
Matt?
Nope.
I would, but I don't really want to drop money on the new 3DS right now.
Yeah, okay. So did any of you guys play it on Wii, the original Xenoblade Chronicles?
Nope.
Also, nope.
Yeah,
I'm not much of a Nintendo guy, so any Nintendo question that was a game made after like 1996, totally not for me.
Matt, did you?
I didn't play it, but I'm like a huge fan of JRPGs, so I really wanted to, and it's just kind of hard to get your hands on that. And also, I haven't touched my Wii. I haven't touched my Wii in a very long time. I just kind of got sick of shovelware on that console, so I barely played any of the games on that.
Yeah. See, I, like you, huge JRPG fan. I there for a period of time when I first got my PlayStation 3, my goal was to play every JRPG released in North America, and I got damn near close. But I didn't ever buy a Wii, and so I missed out on every game other than Super Mario Galaxy, which I played on my friend's Wii. On his Wii. Sorry. So I missed out on Xenoblade Chronicles, and I have seen so much stuff about it and how people regard it as one of the better JRPGs out there. And so I'm super excited that it's coming to 3DS. But like you said, Matt, I don't feel like dropping money on a new 3DS yet. But it's kind of making me consider going for some of the trade-in programs. Like I think GameStop is doing you could trade in your XL for like $100, and so what that gets you like a new 3DS XL half off or something? Aren't they all $200 now? Anybody know? I don't remember how much the new 3DS is being released at. New 3DS GameStop. Dun da da. Already sold out of new 3DS. Oh, well, that's fun.
So much for that trade-in program.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it's $200. So if you trade in an XL, you could get at half price. You get a new 3DS XL for $100. I've really been considering doing that because I would like to play, Majora's Mask with better loading screens, faster loading screens, processing and stuff. And I would love to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3D for the first time, especially since it has new stuff. I don't think I can ever go back and play it on Wii because I can't stand standard definition, anything. I just can't do it. And so I'm either going to miss out on it forever or I'm going to play it on 3DS.
I'm just excited to get a new 3DS for the extra stick.
You do want that extra stick, don't you?
Hey-o.
Hey-o. Moving on.
So some more good JRPG news. Square Enix has finally revealed when you'll be able to play the Final Fantasy 15 demo.
What?
So, yes!
Tell me more!
So, while Final Fantasy 15 still lacks a release date, players will get a taste of it when they play Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, which launches March 17th in North America and March 20th in Europe. The final demo, Final Fantasy 15 Episode Duske, will in fact be included with the first run of copies in Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. Up until this past week, Square Enix was unsure of when the demo would actually be playable.
Yeah, it's really interesting because we've known for 4 or 5 months now that if you bought Final Fantasy Type 0 or pre-ordered or whatever, you would be able to play the demo. But every time Square Enix said something about it, they were like, we don't know when you'll be able to play it, but you'll be able to play it. We'll give you a code for people who buy the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be available right away. And then finally they're like, hey, we're going to release it on day one with the game. And so like now everyone's super excited about it. I am really, really excited about this one because I am a huge Final Fantasy fan and I can't wait to play Type 0. And, I was really excited to play Type 0 without the demo. And now I'm just even more excited that I'm going to be able to play that demo. And it's to the point to where I have to decide, do I want to play the demo first or play Type 0 first?
Yeah, I feel like day one I'm going to be playing that demo first.
Probably me too.
But yeah, I was already excited for Type 0 like you. And then when they originally announced the demo would come with it, I pre-ordered it right away.
Oh, man. Okay, so Sean and Brian, do you guys like JRPGs at all?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Sean?
After my last experience with one, yes, I still do.
Do you guys like Final Fantasy, though?
Not since, I think, 9.
So you're one
8.
of those fans.
Yeah, well, I mean, so the thing with me is that, like, time-wise, like, you were talking about how you played, almost everything for the PlayStation 3, and that just blows my mind because I feel like there's such time drains.
They are.
that, like, the ability to do that is unreal. So whatever magic power you have, I would like to share.
That was when I first got my PlayStation 3. I just moved up to Lawrence, Kansas to go to KU and everything, and I didn't get a job yet, and it was during the summer. And so, like, I didn't get my PS3 till 2011 or 12, something like that. And I just spent that entire summer playing games from the time I woke up till the time I went to bed. And that summer it got me through the entire Assassin's Creed series. It got me through, like, every JRPG I could ever think of, like all the games that I had been waiting for years to play or wanted to or ever thought was interesting. I played that summer. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where, like, I just spent all of my summers so very differently. And then since graduating college and everything, I haven't had as much free time. And so JRPGs are one of those, they're super intriguing because I found the best stories for games are usually in JRPGs.
Yep.
And the gameplay is always solid and all of them are just so high quality that I would love to play all of them, but I just have to be really selective. Like, the next one that I'm going to play is Ni no Kuni, which I can't believe I haven't played yet.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's literally like the next game that I'm going to play.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat, Brian.
Neither of you guys have played Ni no Kuni?
Nope.
Oh
I
my
haven't
god! What? And
hey,
Blasphemy.
you guys
I
are
don't have
all
a
kicked off the
PS3.
podcast.
I don't have a PS3. Give me a slight break here, man.
Go buy one. It's
Find
worth it.
ways.
It's worth it. Ni no Kuni is one of the better games I've ever played. So that is high praise. I've played a shitload of games now.
But my experience with Final Fantasy has been Final Fantasy X.
That's
Yeah, that's it.
wow.
Well, I mean, again, with the whole no PS3 thing, but I mean, I do like Final Fantasy games, and I do, I love 10. I had a second playthrough until it was stolen. But
You lose a lot of games.
I have a problem. But actually, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get it when it comes out. But
Never gonna
I will
play the demo.
But yeah, I mean, I will definitely get Final Fantasy 15 because it looks exciting. It looks like something new, and since it was based off of what was it, Tactics 13?
It was Versus.
Versus 13.
Versus 15. But I mean, it gives something new gives a new feel for the gameplay, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, whenever 15 actually releases the full game, I'm probably going to retire. I'm just going to go and play that forever. It looks so good.
Yeah, I still remember to this day, freshman year of high school, one of my friends showing me the Versus 13 trailer.
Oh. That was
such a long time ago.
So long ago. That was I was in high school when that released. I was at the beginning of high school, actually, like beginning middle, and it was during this strange time in my life where I didn't play a lot of games. I call it strange. It wasn't really strange at the time, obviously, but I was like really into sports and going out on adventures and stuff because I just, I could drive now and all that. And so like games kind of just got put on the afterburner and I missed everything. I missed the Uncharted series. I missed Gears of War. I missed so many big games that came out during those few years. And that's when, like when I was telling you that I bought my PS3 right when I got to college, that summer I played through most of those games that I had missed during all those years.
So basically, Courtney got a life, and he didn't play video games until college, whenever he didn't. Well,
he lost his life.
Well, see,
yes.
I moved over 2 hours away to college where nobody I knew was going here because I grew up in a town where there was 2 people my age in, and my graduating class had 10 people. So like nobody, I think we had 3 or 4 people go to college in my entire class, and they all went to like K-State, which is an agriculture school because we live in Kansas. Everyone's Hicks, right? Now, I'm not. I'm a city kid, and I could not stand the country life that I was growing up around. And I moved to Lawrence, which is one of the more city locations in Kansas. And so I literally knew nobody here and nobody for several hours away. So I kind of took on video games as my major hobby again, like it was growing up in middle school and stuff, and kind of just completely dove in.
Sounds like you made the right choice.
Yes.
It also sounds like you grew up in the middle of nowhere.
Hey!
Hey-o.
Be
here all week.
I wonder where our name came from. Who knows?
From the middle of nowhere. That's where it came from.
Yeah. Well, Brian, you want to cap off the news from nowhere?
Yeah, I do. So the last little bit of news is about those darn Amiibos.
What?
The gold and silver Amiibos have been spotted.
Whoa. You got it wrong, man. There's no S. It's Amiibo. That's plural.
Is it really?
Yep.
Yes, the plural of Amiibo is Amiibo.
Amiibo.
Did they send out a press release saying this, that Amiibo is,
I think that's just how they addressed it.
Yeah, that's just how I've heard it too.
Although I have a feeling if we keep saying it wrong, they're going to send out a press release saying, guys, it's Amiibo. There's no such word as Amiibos. Get it right.
There are too many people who are crazy about Amiibo now that I doubt they'll ever need to, because they have enough crazy fans that will correct people for them.
Yeah, like what just happened.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I don't have a single Amiibo. Okay, go on. Sorry.
All right, so here's the news about the Amiibo. All of the Amiibo.
All of them. 2
variants of a new Amiibo, a singular Amiibo, appeared on Nintendo's website, but what are they for? The 2 alternate forms were revealed by CPSIA, which is the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act, certificates, which were spotted by user KTS2448 on NeoGAF. The gold and silver figures are the same design from Mario and the new Super Mario Amiibo series launching March 20th alongside Mario Party 10. As of right now, we do not know what these are for or how they will be distributed. Which leads me to ask you guys, Courtney, since you don't have any, Sean, Matt, how many Amiibo do you have?
I do not have any.
I just have 2. I'm not like one of the crazy people. I just want the ones for like the characters I like.
Which ones are they?
I have Fox and Luigi.
Those are the 2 worst.
No.
No, Luigi is the best character ever.
Luigi was our male character of the year last year.
Yes,
yeah, he was a boss last year.
Yeah, see, I actually would have an Amiibo if Marth would be easier to get my hands on.
Yeah, he would have been my first.
But since he's like $1,000, there's no way I'm gonna buy that. But because he's my favorite character from Super Smash Bros. And Lou brought up an interesting point. when we first were talking about Amiibo and Super Smash Bros. And that he bought somebody that he likes to play as, or I think he said he bought one. He bought Samus, I believe, which Samus is his favorite character, and he said that was probably a mistake because you typically you can't play as your Amiibo or whatever. You play against them, and he's like, you shouldn't buy your favorite character if you want to play as Samus and then you're playing against Samus. You should buy somebody you won't be playing as. I was like, that's interesting, but I really want Marth. He's my favorite character, but I still want him on my shelf. So like, I don't know. Do you have plans to buy any more, Matt?
Yeah, I had Ike pre-ordered because he's my favorite Smash character and Fire Emblem character, and then I had King DDD pre-ordered just because I think he's ridiculous. And but I don't like them like from the collector's aspect. I actually do use them whenever I play Smash Brothers.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say that's how they get you to buy two, because you buy the one that you want to look at on your shelf, but then you also have to buy the one that you want to fight against.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just Nintendo and those tactics.
See, my niece, I bought her Super Smash Bros. For Christmas, and then I also bought her a Pikachu Amiibo, and we leveled that thing up to almost level 50 in the first day of playing it. Oh. Like, I don't know, did you have the same experience, Matt? Are you able to level it up that fast?
Yeah, I did. It doesn't take that long. I like having them at level 50. Because I'm not a competitive Smash Brothers player, but one of my best friends, he's one of those crazy people who can just edge guard like crazy. And so I just always get my ass kicked playing him. So playing against these Amiibos is kind of like training for whenever we fight.
Yeah, see, that was, I don't know. It was really weird to me because, one, I felt that Pikachu leveled up way too fast. I don't know. I would rather have grinded it out a little bit more. Like, sometimes he leveled up 4, 5, 6 levels in a match. And I was just like, what the hell, you know? Like, that seems to be way too much. And then the other part of it is, since he does level up so fast, he gets really good really fast. Because within, like, 2 hours of playing, he was beating us in every match. We were getting our asses kicked by a Pikachu Amiibo. And I don't know. It's just a really strange thing. But okay, so if the gold and silver Amiibo were on the shelf, and it was a Mario and it was next to the other Marios, what would you guys buy? Would you guys buy the normal Mario, the silver Mario, or the gold Mario?
I wouldn't buy any Mario. Mario can go die in a hole.
That is not the question, Sean. Okay,
Sean took my answer.
Moving on.
I don't know. I think I would buy the regular Mario. I mean, gold and silver stuff is cool, but in like 20 years, it'd be cooler to have the original Mario than like a gold or silver version.
Yeah, but what if the paint chips off the normal version and it turns into a silver one?
Wait, is the paint not going to chip off a gold or silver version?
I don't know. Maybe.
What if it's just solid gold?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if they were pure gold?
If it is a chunk of solid gold, I would buy it.
It's a $1,000 Mario Amiibo, just as rare as the Marth. At the normal Marth Amiibo.
That's how I plan on investing my money from now on, is just buying solid gold Mario figurines.
They're going to be the currency for the apocalypse.
The Mario gold standard?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, Courtney, I think you can agree with me here. It's all about that platinum Amiibo.
Oh, yeah.
All about the platinum.
All about the platinum. I don't agree with you, actually. Jackass, putting words in my mouth.
That is harsh.
Okay, before we move on to the listener question, our final code for Star Wars game on Steam is for Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, and the code is PI0XJ2QPDZ7M7W. Okay, that's all the games. That's all the Steam games. That's all the Star Wars games. Thank you again, Toonday, for sending us all of those games to give out to everybody. Again, if you claimed any of them, let us know on either Facebook or Twitter or something, so we can let everybody know that they were claimed, so that we don't have people trying to claim them, a week later or something like that.
Good luck, listeners.
Speaking of Toonday.
Hey, there you go. That's what I was going to say. So Toonday sent us in a question this week. And his question is, do you guys prefer single or multiplayer games? For me, it depends on the game. For example, I prefer multiplayer first-person shooters since the single-player campaigns are usually lackluster. Shots fired. Okay, so we're going to go Sean first. What do you think? Single or multiplayer do you prefer?
Usually it's how it's marketed, if that makes any sense.
Explain.
I agree with Today that a lot of single-player campaigns and multiplayer-focused first-person shooters, they're pretty lackluster. But I'm not going to say like all first-person shooters, are all multiplayer, should be multiplayer focused. I mean, even third-person shooters like Uncharted and the upcoming Order 1886. I mean, I feel like games like that, I prefer single-player rather than multiplayer. I mean, if they have a shoehorned, multiplayer aspect into there, I usually just, cut it off. But then again, it could be the other way around. You could have a Call of Duty game that has just a shoehorned single player in there, just so they can have a bullet list on the box. So it's usually the way it's marketed. If it's marketed as a multiplayer game, then I prefer the multiplayer experience. And usually it's just because I have friends like Courtney, whom I love with all my heart.
Oh. So you're talking about different Courtney, right? No. Sorry, go on.
But yeah, it's usually just and it's also because of the people that you're with. I mean, if you're playing multiplayer online with Xbox Live or something with, 9-year-olds that keep on, calling you names, then that's not fun. But if you're with a group of friends, then almost everything is better with friends.
I love it. It's just about anybody out there can say the same thing. Is when they refer to Xbox Live, it always goes to the 9-year-olds who yell at you and call you dirty names and talk about your mom. Like, everybody has the same experience with Xbox Live. They don't say that about WoW. They don't say it about PlayStation Network. They don't say it about any other game or any other network. It's always Xbox Live.
That's because nobody plays on PlayStation Network.
Well, everybody plays on PlayStation Network. They just have their fucking mics.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, free gold this weekend. Just going to throw that out there.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Okay, so Brian, single player or multiplayer?
Oh, definitely single player. Like I was saying earlier with the JRPGs, like that to me is what gaming is, and that's what it's always been. Even though I grew up, like, sports was my biggest focus as a gamer early on, but even then I still like playing single player. But now that I do like mostly story-based stuff, it is by far single player. Like, multiplayer has its perks, and I like to jump in, depending on who I'm playing with, but it's always very private sessions. Like, I don't go into those worlds full of the hate-spewing mongrels that you can find everywhere.
Yeah.
So I mean that's for me. Like, I thought one of the cool things, like The Last of Us multiplayer, that was a pretty surprising multiplayer to me. That I enjoyed that, and I didn't think I was going to, because usually games like that have terrible multiplayer.
I totally am with you on that one. That would surprise the hell out of me, and I spent far more time than I ever expected actually playing that.
Definitely.
Now, Matt, single player or multiplayer?
I'm pretty much single player all the way, and that's for about the same reasons as Brian. I love stories and in my games and character development and that sort of stuff, and you don't really get that experience when you're playing with a bunch of other people, especially when they're 9-year-old Xbox Live kids. And but yeah, it's not that I don't like multiplayer. I just prefer single player experiences. They're more immersive than playing with a bunch of other people, especially if you don't know the other people.
Okay, so I like my opinion on it is very similar to what all of you guys said. Growing up, I was more of a multiplayer guy. Like, I played Halo, I played Call of Duty, I played all of that. Like, those are my games of choice. But eventually I got to the point to where I grew apart from some of my friends who I played online with and stuff like that, which ended up kind of forcing my hand to play some single player games, and then like totally fell in love with some of the stories I played. And it was my first JRPG that I played. It was Tales of Vesperia was my first one of the Tales series, and that kind of just, I don't know, this love affair with JRPG started with Tales of Vesperia on Xbox 360, and I just have not gone back. Like if I play a game, it's for the story. I'm not playing a game for the gameplay. I'm not playing it for the multiplayer or anything like that. But that doesn't discount multiplayer games, obviously. Like I still play them. Like I just said that I've been playing Freedom Wars. I played that only multiplayer. I played that with my buddy, and we didn't do the story stuff together. We would do all the missions together, and then we would get offline and we'd go play the story stuff by ourselves so that we could focus on the story. And that's how I am with any game that has both multiplayer or co-op or whatever like that. When I played Destiny originally, every time we got to a cutscene, I had to yell at my party to shut up. I was like, guys, I want to listen to what's going on, Quit talking over it. Like, I don't care that you've played it 1,000 times already. I need to hear this. And that's the part that just annoys the hell out of me about multiplayer games, is that I can't focus on any single player aspect going on. So I definitely have a strong preference towards single player games, but multiplayer games have their appeal. And it depends on what kind of game. Like you said with The Last of Us. The Last of Us, I ended up enjoying that one a lot. I enjoy games like Super Smash Brothers. Not competitively because I'm not very good, but I enjoy playing it for fun with friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's a definite line for me in multiplayer where there's the world of you playing with your friends exists, and then there's the world of you playing with the rest of the world.
Yep.
And when you play with the rest of the world, it's kind of a scary experience.
Yep, I'm totally with you. I've never been one to play an online game by myself with the rest of the world. Like when I played Call of Duty and Halo and stuff, I never just got on to play it by myself. I would have to have one of my friends online with me. It's the only time I would ever play them. But let's go ahead and move on to the game releases this week. All right, you guys remember how we're splitting this?
Yep.
Let's do this.
Yep.
All right. On PlayStation 4, the long-awaited, much-anticipated Evolve finally launches. Minutes launches. Super Stardust Ultra. And then Unmechanical Extended Edition, which is cross-buy with its PlayStation 3 version. And on PlayStation 3, you also have Chivalry Medieval Warfare, which I looked at some screenshots today for, and it kind of looks bad, but it kind of looks fun. I might give that a try. I don't know.
Yeah,
Have you
that
not
game.
seen Chivalry before?
No, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's big on PC.
Huh. Yeah, I'd never even heard of it before, and I saw some screenshots today in their press release, and I was just like, oh, this kind of looks interesting.
Yeah, it's an amazing first-person arena fighter, and even though I never played it, I love watching videos, and it's something that I would love playing.
It's an arena fighter?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so anyways, also on PlayStation 3 is Hyper Void, and then on Vita we've got, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Eternal Blade, something like that. Jungle Rumble, Freedom, Happiness, and Bananas. And then Minutes, which was cross-buy with its PlayStation 4 version.
And on Xbox One, Evolve is also coming out, the long-awaited title, like Courtney mentioned. The Escapist is also coming out this Friday, which, do you guys know anything about that?
No, I really don't.
This is the first time I've seen this title, so I'm curious. And also why it would come out on a Friday. That's interesting. And unfortunately, there are no new games this week on the Xbox 360.
Womp womp.
And then on Wii U, PlayStation and Xbox both have Evolve, which are highly anticipated, but probably not as highly anticipated as Paparazzi. and of course, what's surely to be a 10 out of 10, Blech. Yep, I didn't. That was the title of the game. That I didn't make that noise.
Yep.
And moving on to 3DS, we have Ace Combat Assault Horizon Legacy Plus, and 3DS, not 3DS, just 3D Fantasy Zone Opa Bros.
Sorry.
Wait, that's the nickname. That's what me and Matt
We're
are.
the
Opa Bros.
Be sure to check out 3D
Yes.
Fantasy Zone. It's mine and Brian's game.
That's just for us, though.
Oh.
You can't check it out. It's just for us. And then we also have Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D. And we're supposed to have those 2 reviews on our show, not this week, but the week after. So stay tuned for that, maybe.
Like 2 of the bigger games of the entire week, and that was like the least bit of excitement shown for those 2 titles when you read them.
Well, you know, when you have gyms like Paparazzi and Blech, it's kind of hard to just keep the hype going.
I feel the need to say bless you every time you say black.
Black. Okay,
All right.
finish this off.
And for the PC, we have the highly anticipated Evolve, Hanachirasu, Galactic Inheritors, Tasty Blue, Herald, On a Roll 3D, Muscle Car Online, Cuba City, Off-World Trading Company, Barbarian Brawl, Siege of Turtle Enclave, Abomination Tower, War of the Human Tanks Altar, AV, Lucius 2, Data Hacker Reboot, and Decay the Mare.
I swear. Sorry,
I love PC games just because a game like Tasty Blue can be the next Gone Home.
Exactly, right? Or Muscle Car Online could be the next WoW. I really want to know what Muscle Car Online is.
I think it's pretty much in the title.
Yeah, I mean, do you race them?
No, there's no gameplay. You just look at muscle
you just
cars.
look at them. You maybe like rev the engine a little bit, but it's
It's
all
really-
online, so it's cool.
It's really just Google Images, but you just type in muscle cars, and you can't search for anything else.
Oh,
It's like the photo mode in Gran Turismo games.
guys, it is really bad looking. Here's the link. Massively multiplayer online racing game. Race against the ghost recordings of your friends and players from around the world. Design and share your own racetracks. Collect over 100 cars and race them in 11 classes. Compete on a new racetrack every day. Retro top-down or 3D racing with super fun driving physics. I mean,
It
Psycho-
sounds super fun.
yeah,
I love the car with skulls on it. Do you guys see that?
yeah. Psychic Software, I'm not saying you're a bad developer. Congratulations on getting your game out there, and people are going to buy it. I know they are, but
I might buy it now. It's on Mac, so
does it have a price? $5.99 starter pack.
hey, that sounds like a pretty good price to me.
All right. So, anyways, that wraps up episode 70 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. We're all going to go play Muscle Car Online. Hopefully, you join us. We record on Tuesdays and then release on Tuesday nights. You can email us at contact.mong@gmail.com if you have any questions you want us to read off on the podcast or suggestions for QuickTime event episodes, anything like that. You can find us on Twitter by searching for @mong.com, all spelled out, .com. You can find us on YouTube by looking for Mong Network, and then on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram by just searching for Middle of Nowhere Gaming. Be sure and check out the website, middleofnowheregaming.com, for all of our latest editorials, features, news, reviews, all the good stuff. And then you can find us on Twitter. You can find me at Osborne_2009. You can find Sean at,
Little Big Ham.
you can find Brian at,
El Padre Oso.
and you can find Matt at.
_M Batson.
Thank you guys for joining me today.
Thanks for
Hey,
having
thanks
us.
for having us, man.
Mong!
Mong.
Mong.